don't trust any bitches. No, I'm just kidding.
Hi everyone, and welcome back. And I am back to review the usual Real Housewives of Miami. This is what, episode 7 or 8? I don't know. We are approaching the end of the season. I think this show ends at like episode 8 or 9 because they filmed the reunion, I think, yesterday, which I'm excited about. So I'm just gonna get right into it, not take up too much time, and let's get started. Okay. So the scene starts off from how it ended last week with Nicole's dad. All I can say about Nicole's dad is just throw him away. Throw him away with the trash. Like with the trash that gets picked up on Thursdays. Throw him away. I mean, the whole conversation was just so confusing. He's talking about one thing, she's talking about another. He's responding about and then saying other things. I mean, just throw him away. That's what, just throw him away. Because the guy doesn't even know what the heck is going on. I mean, I was just confused watching it. It's probably the most entertaining Nicole has been all season. And we're going to get to Nicole at the end of this because I have a lot to say about her. But just throw the guy away. He's all like talking and stuttering. And then at the end, he's like, oh, you're so beautiful. I just want to let you know. Like, boy, bye. I'm so happy she got up and left. Because this guy is just, from the gaslighting to the just awkward conversations to just switching to different things that are not important. Like you're here to talk to your daughter about fixing your relationship and you're talking about every other thing. Anyway, so then Nicole walks away and talks to her mom and sorry. Allergies. Anyway, as I was saying, Nicole goes in the car and talks to her mom, and I need Nicole's mom to just get it. Nicole's dad is nobody to keep trying to force a relationship with. He's nobody that you should be loyal to, because he's not loyal to his own family. He's not loyal to Nicole's mom or Nicole. Stop trying to, like, she has this loyalty towards him for what? Didn't he ruin your life and force you to get a job like everybody else? So Nicole's mom needs to get it. Okay, and then the scene then just keeps flipping into the other girls packing up, getting ready for the Hamptons. You got Lisa, Lenny, Alexia, Todd, Frankie, and then we switch over to Larsa. This is the first time in this scene, the first time that we see Larsa interact with her sons. Her sons called her, one of her sons called her bro. I was like, you call your mom bro? Like, Larsa, don't let your son call you bro. Other than that, she's trying to talk to Scotty. Scotty is busy and doesn't want to talk to Larsa, and now he's flip-flopping. He doesn't really want to split assets, yada yada yada. At this point, this divorce has been lingering on for how many years now? I heard the divorce is finally finalized, but I'm not 100% sure because this is Larsa and Scottie Pippen we're talking about. They've been divorcing for like 10 years now, and it still can't finish. Like, at this point, the kids are grown except the little girl. Split your assets and just move on. I don't know if it's because Sky doesn't want to let go of Larsa completely, or is it because he doesn't want to shuffle out that money? I don't know what it is, but yeah, Sky doesn't want to talk to Larsa. And that whole bro thing, I'm bringing it back. That whole calling your mom bro thing. Can you guys tell me if you're allowed to call your mom bro? Like, tell her, hold on, bro, he's busy, or I'm doing something. Like, her sons seem a little rude. Like, Larsa, you need to tell them to pipe down, because you are their mom. Even though you may not look or seem like their mom, you are their mother. Anyway, the girls arrive to the Hamptons and drive off to the Hamptons, and they were saying it was like a almost 3 hour drive. That makes sense, because I live in New York. I've never been to the Hamptons, because I know it's going to take me at least 2.5 hours to get there. From the city to there, because Long Island, is shaped at the ends like this, and over here it's Riverhead, and then I can't remember which one is the Hamptons, or I think both of them, but like Montauk is like at the very end, like, and New York City's like all the way over here. I wish if I had the editing skills, I would edit a map of Long Island, but I don't. But just to give you guys who don't live in New York a little idea of what that looks like. So I didn't see what airport they landed in, but they probably landed in from like LaGuardia, which is usually at the domestic airport. So if they're coming from Miami, they probably came into LaGuardia, which is in Queens, which is over here, and they have to go over here. If if I was able to turn my camera in a way where it could go horizontal, I would. I'm still trying to figure that out, but it messes with my recording a little bit. Sorry about that. Anyway, I'm going off topic. All right. So the girls get to the house. Adriana sneaks off to Larsa's room because she's like, we need to find a bigger room. She sneaks off to Larsa's room, and then Larsa, in Adriana fashion, she does the most and takes off her clothes and goes in the tub. I didn't really think nothing too deep of it. You can't when it comes to Adriana. She's just good TV, and she's Adriana. So I was just like, oh God, Adriana. And Julia's just there smiling like, Adriana, come on. And, she takes off her clothes and splashes the girls in the tub. And Larsa's like, you're being so aggressive. This is my room. And she just scares them out. I would say that scene was kind of funny because she's like, flee. And then all the girls like run away because she's splashing water on them. I like how Adriana kind of is like, the girls need to loosen up a bit. So I do like that. Now she's like keeping the mood light because the rest of this scene was just dragging. So then there's a fight over the rooms, and this is classic Real Housewives vacation fashion where everybody's fighting over the room. I would say this is the most annoying fight I've ever seen over a room. I've seen in Real Housewives history. You guys can correct me and tell me which one was even worse than this or if I'm wrong, but this was just so annoying. Girl, Lisa, it's like you're dragging it. I understand you want your own room, but there are only 5 bedrooms. You see, here in New York, things are a little different. Homes here are triple the size and half the size, if not a quarter of the size of a home in Miami or anywhere else. Even though the Hamptons house was very pretty, it was a typical New York house. Tiny bedrooms, not a lot of bedrooms on not that big of a land. So like the rooms are really tiny in general. That's because this is New York. That's how New York homes are built. But like Lisa, what did you want them to do? There wasn't enough rooms for you to have your own room. Like, what do you want to do? This is Larsa's event, so she should have her own room. What do you want? And then you were talking about how Alexia's being aggressive or she's being confrontational with you. She was saying what everybody else was saying. So what do you want to do? There's not enough room. She was not coming at you aggressive. She was not coming at you sideways. She was just asking you a question. And I'm like, Lisa to me seemed drunk the whole episode. She's like, you're being really aggressive right now. Like girl, well, there wasn't enough rooms. So what is this argument about? I was with Kiki. Like, come on, stop. Okay, so they're still arguing over the room. I don't think Alexia was being snappy. She's like, what do you want? If anything, Lisa, you were being snappy. Not Alexia. It was you. Okay? It wasn't Alexia. And you're just keep going on and on, but you can't have your own room. You can't share a room. You guys are only going to be there for like the weekend. Like, come on. This is like getting too much and you're still carrying on. Like, girl, you know how these shows work. You're on this show. You know you have to be in the house. You can't get your own hotel room. And I don't know, it kind of, eventually the room situation did get figured out. I guess it was off camera. I don't know what production had a conversation with the girls because it was like, eventually towards the end of the episode, Lisa, I guess, had her own room. I don't know what it is, but Lisa, get over it. Okay? So then we have Nicole. You guys, if you guys see my past reviews, you know Nicole is not my favorite person because I find her boring, and I also don't like how she loves to insert herself into things. You've been friends with Lisa for all of 2 days. Calm down. And I get what Alexia is saying because she did bring you in this group. So for you to be buddy-buddy with Lisa and insert yourself over nothing, like you're picking at nothing. And I hate people that pick at absolutely nothing because that's what Nicole was doing. Because Nicole is saying, is chiming in. So all the girls are upset at each other, to go back. All the girls are upset at each other because Lisa wants her own room and Lisa feels attacked. And Marisol and Alexia just go away because they're annoyed. I would be annoyed too, along with Kiki. Poor Kiki the whole time. Kiki's a meme because she's just like, what am I doing here? The whole season she's been like that. And I don't blame her. So they go to their rooms and then Nicole chimes in and is like, okay, well, you see, Lisa just feels attacked because you've just been very combative lately and you've been like interrupting and pretty much repeating everything that Lisa said to her. Nicole, you don't know that to be true because you weren't there. You're just repeating everything that Lisa has told you. And in this situation, I do not think that Alexia was being combative. Lisa was just being really annoying. Okay? And you're inserting yourself in, taking up for her, but then allegedly you were talking all this mess about her. But we're going to get into that soon. But it's just like, stop. Don't, like, when it comes, like, if you're friends with two people that are fighting, you have to be very careful, because you don't want to come off as you're taking one side or the other. You have to be very careful. You can't just be like all up Lisa, but you're supposed to be friends with Alexia at the same time. It is complicated, but like how Adriana was just staying out of it the whole episode, that's what you should have done. But you love to insert yourself into things, and then you want to talk. I'm supposed to say this. With Nicole, it's like, the only thing she's done this whole season is insert herself into things and just be uninteresting to me. The only thing that was semi-interesting was her dad, which I don't really care to see somebody like that on TV, but it was entertaining. That's it. Moving on. Yeah, Nicole, what were you talking about? I have no idea what she was talking about. Like, stop insert your... And, oh, another thing. Nicole, you were picking at absolutely nothing. You're saying you felt so catty and mean girl like, oh, because Alexia told you to take a picture of her. You see, it's like, I hate when people nitpick. Alexia was like, take a picture of me. You were at a club. People take selfies all the time. She wants to take a picture with Marisol. Take a picture of her. You could have said, no, I don't think Alexia would have went up and smacked you. Like, stop grasping at these straws. You're trying to take up for Lisa by insinuating that Alexia is a bully, all because she told you to take a picture of her. You're not making any sense, and she just loves to insert herself into things. Like, stop. So then, just petty drama. Yeah, Nicole keeps sticking up for Lisa. I agree with Alexia. Then Adriana, Alexia, Marisol meet up, I think, at the rooftop, and they just have a conversation, and Adriana's like, you were right. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, Adriana, Marisol, Alexia, Lisa, them four, they hang out outside of the show. When Real Housewives of Miami was on hiatus for all those years, between those 8 years, they were hanging out. So I want people to understand that, even though we haven't seen that many scenes between Adriana and the other girls, I feel like part of the reason is because they didn't make it to the final cut, and also because Adriana's like, okay, girls, I'll see you when we get home, because they hang out. So seeing them together, and even Adriana said, you were right, Alexia. Because you see, Adriana can say a little bit more because she actually is friends with Alexia and Lisa outside of the show. So she knows when Lisa's being too much or this, that, whatever. And Adriana, the whole entire time when they were fighting, was like sneaking in, ooh, drama, and then ran away and go to have fun. Because she's not trying to get into any more drama this season, well, for now at least. It's like those are her friends in real life, so she doesn't want to be getting into it and chiming in like what Nicole should be doing. Those are her two friends, so you saw she was backing up out of it because those are her two friends in real life, but Nicole wants to insert herself into it. Anyway, okay, so going into Marisol and Alexia, Marisol talks about Mama Elsa, shows a picture of her. Made me kind of sad. I do miss Mama Elsa, so R.I.P. to Mama Elsa. She is missed. Like, this reboot would have been so much more fun if she was here, but R.I.P., rest in peace, Miss Mama Elsa. You are with your husband, if she was married to Marisol's dad. I'm assuming so. Yeah, mommy and daddy together. That must suck to like have both of your parents gone like that. I'm sorry about that, Marisol, but we are going to move on. So Lisa, the diva, flies out her hairstylist from Miami to come do her hair. And I'm sorry, I'm not saying her hairstylist is like a terrible hairstylist, but all he did was just curl your hair a little bit. Your hair wasn't even that like perfect. Your hair was cute, but it's like you spent all that money to fly out your hairstylist just to wrap it around a curling iron a little bit. It didn't even look like it perfectly presented. Like, I would understand if he slayed your edges and your wigs, but he just curled your hair. Like, Lisa, you spent all that money just to fly your hairstylist from Miami just for him to wave a little curling wand and spray some hairspray. Like, that's it. Like, that wasn't worth that much money. You're in New York. Some of the best hairstylists in the world are here. They were doing a way better job than what he did. I'm sorry. And then you got Nicole. Oh my God, hi. Oh my God, she's waiting for you. Like greeting the hairstylist, like you know him that well. Like, girl, please. I just don't like the fakeness. I don't. Cause the ladies go to dinner, and Marisol, yes, Marisol did stir the pot. She did. I think she pretty much admitted to it. She did stir the pot because she asked that awkward question, who here do you trust the least? Everybody at that table, including the audience and the production, knows that when you ask a question like that, that is doing a big this, and that's asking to start a fight. But Marisol, you pitched a question, so she answered her own question. I trust Nicole the least. And then Nicole's all defensive, which she should be, and says, back it up, tell me why. And Marisol says it's because we know you've been talking so much mess about Lisa and Larsa, but you're so buddy with Lisa. And real quick, before this, after the whole confrontation happened, Nicole was inserting herself into it. Alexia and Marisol pretty much came up with the plan to go for Nicole at the dinner. So yes, was this starting the pot? Yes. Was this calculated? Yes. But was it deserved? I kind of think so, because I just don't like that. You're coming in, you're talking so much, mess about people, and it's not even little petty things. She's saying some things that are really hurtful. You're calling Larsa a hooker. You're making fun of somebody's home and the way they dress. Like, I understand you don't know these people, but you shouldn't be saying things like that. And the reason why I believe it is because, well, we'll get into that in a minute. But it's like, so walking to this dinner, yes, Alexia and Marisol came ready. So Marisol kicks it off, like I said, and she says that you were making fun of Lisa and Lenny. And, Nicole obviously stuttering and saying, no, she didn't. But then, Nicole, you kind of were contradicting yourself, because you low-key were admitting it. Because you're saying, oh, no, I wasn't talking about their home. I just said their house is just kind of slippery. And then when Marisol says, but you said that, you don't like the way Lisa dresses. It's like, oh, no, I didn't say that. I just said that her style and my style is very different. Girl, so you said it. Like, you said it. And it's funny how multiple people at that table all reference that they overheard you saying things about them. You said, like she was contradicting herself, and I get it. Her back was literally against the wall. She was being ganged up on, but you said it. And I was with Larsa. Larsa was just sitting there like she wasn't buying it, not one bit. Because then it goes over that Nicole said that Larsa was a hooker and this, that, or whatever. And then the flashback shows that Nicole was talking about OnlyFans with Alexia and saying that when I first heard about it, I thought it was something slutty, but then I did my research and yada, yada, yada. I changed my mind. And you pretty much admitted it. You were judging Larsa for doing OnlyFans. You thought it was slutty. And now you're saying, oh, I didn't call her a hooker. Well, then what did you call her? Because you literally just said that that's something slutty to do. Like, I don't want to play this word game with you. And then you said to Larsa how you, at first, when you heard about the OnlyFans, you were, like, taking it back, like, why would she do that? And then you did your research, and then you changed your mind about it. And then Larsa's like, but why would you even think that? Why would you judge so hard? And then what else? Larsa was saying, I grew up in a household where, having children out of wedlock is just unacceptable. That's a very Middle Eastern thing. So I do believe that. That's a very Middle Eastern concept or belief. But she's like, I didn't judge you for that. And then Nicole says, oh, when I first met you guys, I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't expect you to be the way you are, and I was pleasantly surprised. And Larsa's like, but why would you be pleasantly surprised? And I agree. Why would you be pleasantly surprised? Like, what did you think walking into this group? That's why I didn't like that. Like, everybody talks behind each other's back, especially in these reality show groups. But I was with Larsa. Why did you feel the need to feel pleasantly surprised? Like, what did you think? Walking, that's why I think what Marisol and Lexia were saying, especially Marisol was saying that how Nicole was going around saying terrible things about these girls is true. Because then you admit out of your mouth that you were pleasantly surprised about how Lisa is and how Marisol is. How Lisa is and how Larsa is. Oh my God, so many L's. And why would you feel that way if you didn't have a lot to think about them before you met them? You see, I hope you guys who are watching felt the same way I did. It's like, you're saying you didn't do it, but then you admit that you do it. And then you want to then at the same time be like, oh, but I don't feel that way. I don't say words like that, but you kind of did if you're saying that something that Larsa's doing is slutty. It's a mess. It's a mess. And Larsa's still not buying it. You know, she's talking about, so I keep getting tongue twisted. Larsa is saying, I didn't judge you for having kids out of wedlock because I grew up in a household where that's not acceptable. And then Lisa's like, and Larsa's like, stay out of it like you always do. Yeah, Lisa, you need to stay out of it. You do. I'm just saying. And then Lisa's like, don't talk to me like that, Larsa. Look, everybody at the table knows that Lisa's not the most confrontational person. Like, we all know Lisa's not going to bust a grape. So it's like, for her to be like, don't talk to me like that, Larsa. And then Larsa's like, yeah, bye. And then she kind of shuts up after a couple, don't talk to me like that. She kind of gets the point and she shuts up. Yeah, because we all know that Lisa has her limits. She doesn't want to get into it that bad. Like, she's not going to get into it Adriana. Because Adriana is about that. She will get into it too, to the long haul. And so will Larsa. I was on Larsa. I was feeling Larsa this whole episode. So then Lisa pipes down, and then Nicole swears. And then that's what I don't like when Nicole does, and a lot of people do. They then turn everything around everybody else and then tries to put sorry about that. They try to put all of the drama and then blame everybody else for it and be like, oh, but you're talking about her and you're talking about her. Like, honey, this is about you. Stop trying to focus the attention somewhere else. And then she goes on and says, oh, Nicole swears Alexia was talking about Marisol, saying that the reason why Marisol married Steve is to stay relevant. First of all, they weren't even on the show at the time Marisol got married, so there's no reason to marry somebody to get relevant when you're not even in the public eye anymore. So I didn't believe that. Marisol didn't seem to believe it either. I don't believe it. I'm not saying that because I like the two of them. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it. So why are you saying this now when you were smiling in Marisol's face all this time, knowing that Alexia allegedly said this stuff? Why wouldn't you tell Marisol this? But you're telling her now that you're feeling attacked. I don't believe it. I really don't believe that Alexia said something like that. And I find it very vicious that she's trying to break up a 20-year relationship all because of stuff that she did. You were the one talking about Larsa and Lisa and saying all this stuff, which you low-key admitted to doing. But now because you're upset that they're confronting you, which I guess if you're being attacked, I get it. But on the other hand, it's like, you know it's true, so stop. Now you're trying to twist it and spread lies and try to cause a rift between Marisol and Alexia. I don't believe, again, that she said that. It makes no sense. Why would she marry Steve to stay relevant? First of all, no offense, but who is Steve? Is he a billionaire? Is he a celebrity? No, he just seems like a regular guy. Marisol wasn't even on the show. The show was on hiatus. It wasn't like she's like, okay, let's get married on the show. She didn't do that. So you can't say somebody's marrying somebody to stay relevant when they're not even in the public eye. They didn't sell their story to a magazine. They didn't marry somebody in the public eye. So why would you say that? That makes logically no sense. You're lying. And then the episode pretty much ends after that. Julia comes in as the peacemaker and says, you know what, guys, Nicole's really, upset, and she said she didn't say it, so let's just believe her, and yada, yada, yada. I'm like, okay, Julia, we get it. You're peace and love everywhere. We get it. And I do like Julia, but we get it. It's annoying, but we get it, Mom. We get it. And that's pretty much it. Next week seems like it's going to be a continuation where Nicole's going to try to keep stirring the pot and trying to break up a friendship of 20 years. I don't like that. And, Larsa still seems like she's not buying it. She even cursed her out a little bit at the table, saying, shut up, and I was with Larsa. At this point, we all know you were talking about this. Just admit that you did. Say you're sorry and move on. I agree. At this point, there's no defending yourself. You said it, so let's just move on. You said it. You kind of admitted to saying it already when you said, oh, Lisa, I didn't say that her style is bad. I just said that her and I have different styles or different tastes. And you said something similar about Larsa. Oh, I didn't like the idea you're doing OnlyFans, but then I changed my mind. So you said it. And Larsa in the preview for next week says, Marisol's not a liar. I don't think Marisol's lying either. Was she stirring the pot? Yes. Were they ganging up on her? Yes. Was this calculated? Yes. But was it deserved? I think so, because if you have a snake in your group that's chatting and talking all this mess about people, and then when a smile on your face, that's not right. I don't deal well with snakes. So this episode overall was good. It was a lot of scenes of nothingness until the end, which is fine. And I'm excited for next week, and I'm excited for that reunion. So you guys let me know what you guys thought about this episode down below. Let's get chatting, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.